This is the Enlightened Voice. Welcome back to this channel. Today I wanted to speak about divine confirmations. Sometimes when we follow the promptings of our inner spirit, we receive divine confirmation. These messages are very subtle and we have to be alert to receive them. It may be a message on a t-shirt of someone passing by, on a billboard, or something someone says in passing that we overhear. We may have dreams or visions, or we may watch online readings which create these confirmations for us. We find these messages and realize that God and the divine beings are with us. On a personal level, I would like to share a little anecdote that happened to me. Perhaps some of you have been to my Facebook page and read some of the posts that I created, especially the one about my own story and the part of the story of my story about having my spiritual graduation and then immediately being prompted by Spirit to come out of hermit mode and to start sharing the knowledge which I've gained. And Spirit was saying that the yogis are all hiding and all the charlatans are coming out spreading false knowledge and only for the sake of money. They are money motivated, so either they are money makers and the real voices of truth are silent. And that was the reason why I started posting these online videos. As you will notice, they are very generic, they are very simple. It's not about the production, it's not about the images or the editing or the graphic effects. It's just about the message and the information, the knowledge. So in these divine confirmations, I received one of my own. These were the first two videos that I created. I came here to the same lake and I was speaking about Astroworld and I did another one. Yes, it was during the second video that I did about that was about how to stay safe online. So during the first video where I was discussing the events on Astroworld, I didn't notice the time passing, and three little boys came to me while I was filming, and I had been speaking for almost 40 minutes. It was 39 minutes and a few seconds. And I didn't want to have to redo that video because I had done so many videos before that I hadn't posted, and there were so many obstacles and delays that I said, you know what, it's as if some invisible dark force is trying to prevent me from posting this, from creating this video. But I have to do it, and I have to get this message out there, and wherever it's meant for is going to find it. So these three boys, they were about between 5 and 9 years old, came to me and they wanted to ask me, well, they wanted money, but they actually were worried about me. They were concerned and they said, why is Auntie sitting here by herself? And because I've been in this warrior mode for so long, I've been under these spiritual attacks. And I'm currently still living in a nest, even though I've had my spiritual graduation and there's been so many messages that it's over, that, you know, that I have had my victory over these dark forces. But I happen to still find myself in the nest, even though I think I'll probably be moving out of there any day now. But living in a nest, basically these people watch my every move, they follow me, and even when I'm posting videos they make these background noises, which is basically those inauspicious noises where they can send, you know, send those entities online. But I've prayed about it and I've asked that, you know what, I don't want them to use these videos to send their entities to the seekers that are going to be watching it. So anyway, so that day the three boys came up to me and I asked them, I said, who sent you, um, can't you see I'm filming, why are you disturbing me, and I actually stopped the video and spoke to the boys, and the one little one was saying, oh no, this is so bad, we ruined Auntie's video, we disturbed you and now your video is spoiled, and he was getting emotional. And I had to comfort him. I felt so bad afterwards because I thought to myself, it's a mindset. It's such a plague, because when you're under attack, you see everybody as your enemy. You see the world completely different, and that's why they attack you, and that's why they follow me. Is because they just want to keep me in that low vibration, in that vibration of fear, and that vibration of self-defense. Of seeing the world as a hostile place, and I am aware of it. But it's like Spirit is slowly pulling me out of it and trying to get me to remember the person that I once was, remember who you were, remember how you once saw the world, how you used to love everybody, and were I was just like a child until I came under attack, and the dark was constantly, they were always trying to, take advantage of my innocence, and they would send me these people that would come to me, and it would always be a trap, so I stopped trusting people. But these three little boys reminded me, and I knew that there was something about this little occurrence, and they wanted money, and I felt so sorry for them, and I didn't have much to give them, and it wouldn't take them far, the little that I could give them, but still, they were grateful, and I knew that something was happening, and I knew that this was some divine thing, This is like in the old days when I used to get so many messages and random things would happen to me, and it wasn't the dark, it was only the light, it was only the divine. So I prayed and I asked the divine, and I said, please God, show me why did you send, why did that happen? Was this was it like, I want to understand what was the message behind this. And then a few days later, I was meditating, and during my meditations, I like to listen to the, like the teachings of the Divine Mother. And in that one talk, I heard she was telling the story of, I'm not sure if you've heard of Sri Adi Guru Dattatreya. Well, he's basically the divine principle of the mastery of the master, and we know the master as the guru, so he's the incarnation of the divine guru, right? So so the Divine Mother was telling the story of his wife, so the wife of Sri Adi Guru Dattatreya, who was being tested, and she came into the situation where there were three sages, three sadhakas, who went to her house to ask her for alms, and that was considered a great privilege back in the day. That if you had someone seeking, the sages seeking alms, and normally no one would ever turn them away. It was very inauspicious to turn them away and not to give them anything. So she wanted to give them, some alms, and but they didn't want her to give it to them at the door. They asked for her to invite them inside, and she had to. She couldn't say no, so she invited them inside, and they said to her, "Well, we won't accept your alms unless you make yourself completely naked." Because they were testing her, right? They were testing to see how devoted, how chaste, and really mainly how devoted she was, right? What type of a devoted wife she was. And she obeyed. She removed her clothing and she started serving them, the alms. And immediately the three boys, the three men, the three sadhakas, the three sages, became turned into three little boys. So because they were boys, in their innocence, her nudity, her chastity was saved. So she was protected in that way. And that's when I remembered the story about, Sri Adi Guru Dattatreya, that, you know, the Divine Mother. Okay, sorry, there's some people around me. So basically, this was a story to tell you that, that those three little boys were actually like a sign, a symbol of the Divine Guru, the Divine Master. And basically to say that, when you reach this point of self-mastery and you start sharing your knowledge, it's like the Divine Guru is flowing through you, Sri Adi Guru Dattatreya. And that's just like a confirmation. And then basically I had another confirmation on the video that that I had made, the second video, where I actually saw an image of the Divine Mother. She came through, and the light, there was like this green light that was streaming through, and she was basically showing me, because green, as yogis, we know that to be the color of the Guru, the color of the master principle. So that was another divine confirmation for me, and it was basically telling me, continue, do these messages, and somebody, divine knows who these messages were created for, and it doesn't matter if they are not professional. They are transferring the knowledge, which is what the divine wants. That is basically, the most important part. So whenever you set forth on a path, if you pray, you ask, you will receive your confirmation, and the divine will protect you, and you just need to become very, very alert. Make yourself alert. Ask also, speak to the divine, and ask for whatever it is. I also, the other day, I had a health condition, nothing serious, but I had this feeling that, there was something happening in my body. And after my meditation, I did a power prayer, which as yogis we call a bandhan. And I asked the divine, I said, please, I would really like for you to confirm if this is the case. And loud and clear in the early morning when I was waking, because, living in the nest, what they do is they try to cut off your connection with source, so you can't have those visions, because those visions often warn you about what these people are up to. So they do everything in their power to cut you off, from that divine guidance, divine connection. And through me, that's like through my visions, through my dreams. So they always sort of block everything when I wake up. But the divine knew this, and after that blockage, that's when I got I heard a very, very loud voice of this female voice, which I know as my spiritual guide, and saying, this is confirmation, what you were thinking is correct. And that's how it happened for me on that occasion. But it can happen on many occasions in different ways. You have to just nurture your connection with the source, your connection with the divine. Ask, speak, and don't forget that this is a relationship. It's a relationship, meaning that it's give and take. It's not only you doing the talking, you have to do the listening as well, and you will receive your messages, and you will really start to get more messages and more confirmations as you the more you listen, and the more you make yourself open to seeing, to receiving those messages. And that's basically also, what is called intuition. Intuition is basically reading a closed book, knowing things without reading them in books, knowing things Just sometimes you just know it's because the divine put that knowledge in there. Well, I shall end this little clip here, and I hope that it has been of service to you. Please, please, please remain strong, remain in your faith, remain steadfast, and never yield. Never yield to your fears, never yield to the dark, and never yield to hopelessness. Hold on, and remember that someday the sun will shine again, and someday things will be as you always wish them to be. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Take care. Bye.